Hello everybody, welcome back. I am the Geordie Geek and this is part 4 of my 31 films challenge. Part 4, obviously day 4, got 3 nights under my belt. I'm kind of getting into the swing of getting these videos recorded and uploaded and stuff. They do usually go up very late, especially midweek obviously. The way my work goes, I don't get in till about 6:30 by the time I've got sorted, filmed it and then got it uploaded. I've usually started watching the film by the time you get to see this video, but that makes no difference to you because I talk about it the next day anyway. So just because I watched 2 films last night, I'm going to dive straight in. The first film that I watched was White Noise, and wow, it's one of those things where we get to a point in, like, it was back when all these scary films just started coming out. It was the new style and stuff, and you had your jump scares, and it was trying to be more of a thriller. But I mean, this film just, if you haven't seen it, then they don't really know why you're listening to us talk about it. Just skip ahead to the next film. But there's just a massive shift in tone of the film. It's for about 4/5 of it is quite a tense little psychological thriller with your jump scare, and then all of a sudden, at the end, at the climax, it just goes weird. It's just, all of it. There's a the. It's just confusing as thinking about it now. It's ridiculous. You go at this certain tempo throughout the whole film. It slowly starts gathering momentum and stuff, and then all of a sudden you're left with the final battle, and things just go mental. They proper batshit crazy. So it was fun seeing them getting all bones everywhere, but it just felt really out of place, if I'm being honest, and kind of just took us out of the film. So I think that kind of ruined it. Up till then, it was quite decent. I mean, there was a few parts just when you go, say, oh, mainly, I mean, it's white noise, so if at any time in your life you're just sitting watching something and then it's just static, you're going to jump. So that was a given, to be honest. But I think the film did work hard in like the first 3/4, 4/5, whatever you want. But then the ending just kind of ruined it for us, I think. So I think I'm going to give that just a pretty lowly 3 spirits out of 10. So I'll not be revisiting that film. Plus, as well, I can't look at Michael Keaton without thinking of Batman. So, the second one that I watched was John Carpenter's Vampires, 1998 film, and it's definitely not aged well, to be honest. There's still a good few little special effects and stuff. I mean, when they pull the vampires out into the open and they start burning up, that just looks a bit whack, to be honest. It looks like they've got flamethrowers coming out of their elbows and then they explode. But I mean, there was a staking through the head which looked pretty cool. Sounds a bit morbid, but yeah. But yeah, I said last night, James Woods is one of those actors that can go either way, and in that film, he goes that way, just way over that way. It's just so hammy, and I can't take him serious as being like a tough guy with the edge and stuff, going out to get revenge. I mean, every time I think of him, it's either a pretty corrupt doctor dude from Any Given Sunday, or Hades. So I think Hades was his standout performance for me. But with vampires, it's, you watch it and you cringe. I think even Nicolas Cage would cringe at some of the things that happen in that film. I mean, jumping on top of a vampire while it's being wheeled out into the sun, so it's going to die anyway. Why do you need to still stay on top of it, continually shooting it in the face when you know that doesn't actually work to do anything? Just shouting, die, 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 die! So, unfortunately, last night wasn't a very successful night for scariness, so I'm going to have to try and step it up again tonight. Vampires, I'm going to give probably a 4 4 hammy vampires out of 10. So it's a bit of a shame because I was looking forward to it, but you win some, you lose some. So anyway, day 4, it's Friday, the start of the weekend, which is really nice. So I'm going to crack open a bottle of brown ale, and I think I'm going to have another double header. I have had a couple of combinations that I've been thinking about all day, but some have been kind of hit on the head. I was going to do a 28 double header, which is 28 days later and then 28 weeks later, because I really enjoy both of those films. I have seen them a few times each, but it's still like edge of the seat stuff. You know what happens, but it's just kind of out there. But for some reason, I've only got the 28 weeks later DVD here, so I'll not be doing that. I was also considering doing an Evil Dead night with the original Evil Dead and the remake from earlier this year, was it? Late last year, early this year. But then I looked and realised I don't have my Evil Dead DVD here, and I haven't actually got the new one on demand or anything yet or whatever. So I'll not be doing that. I will be doing it later in the month though, for sure, because they are 2 pretty quintessential horror films. So I'll be doing that. So I think what I'm going to do tonight, I'm not very prepared for this video because I haven't brought the DVDs with us or anything. I'm going to go a bit Spanish, double feature. What I'm going to do is, I think the first film I'll watch, it has been recommended. It's a film that I've shown a lot of people in the past before. It's by Guillermo del Toro. It's called Cronos. It's another vampire style film, but it's one of his really early ones in Spanish. It's basically the story of a little girl and her granddad. They get this artifact, and basically things go really well from then, and then just slowly start to decline. So I'm going to be watching that one first up. And the second film, I was humming and hawing between staying with Del Toro and going Pan's Labyrinth, but I class that more as a fantasy film than anything scary. So I think what I might go with is a film called Rec. I believe that's the Spanish title, because this is a film. It's set in like an abandoned. Well, it's not an abandoned. It's set in a tower block. There's some kind of virus being released or whatever, and there's these people stuck inside the tower block with cameras and stuff. So they're basically going through this tower block trying to deal with whatever it is that's trying to deal with them, to put it lightly. It was remade in the US, and it was a pretty good remake actually, to be honest, but it still doesn't touch the original. So I'll be watching them. If you have seen those films, get involved. Remember, Twitter @Dixon10, on my blog, thegeordiegeek.wordpress.com. And don't forget you can use these comments. I've got one comment. Thank you, Justin. But yeah, so if you have seen them, tell us what you think about the films. If you haven't seen them, I recommend you do really watch them, because they are good films. I mean, Cronos, it's quite an old film. If you're a fan of Del Toro, you will like it. Sometimes it can be, if you're just going cold on it, you might think, not really sure. But like I said, if you are a Del Toro fan, definitely get it watched, along with The Devil's Backbone. That's another really good film that I'll be watching later this month again. And Rec, yeah, massively better in Spanish than the US version. So get involved with that. Tomorrow, what I'm going to be doing, I might be having some people around for a bit of a hockey party. So if that is the case, depending who turns up in what times and stuff, I might have a guest on the video talking about some certain things. But at the same time, we might not, and I might be home alone again, so you'll just be stuck with me. So I think I'll just leave it at that for now, because I'm really thirsty. So yeah, 2 films tonight. Like, share, subscribe. Don't dislike, because that's not very nice. Someone's done one. Dick. But yeah, see you tomorrow.